Well, this ain't gonna be a fun one to make, but we gotta talk about it. So, Insys is back doing Insys things. As we can see here, they put out this Twitter announcement, also an in-game announcement alongside the update notification saying that they're going to make this change to the Legendary Hero bonus selection, where only a pool of the 10 latest released Legendary Heroes are going to be available for the bonus rotation for Arena Mode as well as Aether Raids. Now, this has got people feeling a certain way. As you can see here, we brought back this old meme. And this is just like the meme post about it, but then we have the main post over on the subreddit that has 261 replies already. Dude, this information was like 4 hours ago, and already people are up in arms. We've got game facts to talk about as well, and some more and more. This guy sent one of the good old, what's it again when you send feedback, like user feedback to the devs in the game? I don't remember what they call that, but he sent one of those, so we'll read that. But yeah, they've gone ahead and made this change that nobody likes, and actually a couple of days, well, not a couple of days ago, like less than a day ago, I put out a video talking about Legendary Male Shez, of course, because I think he's a little undertuned, at least as far as DPS is concerned. His warping is going to be very useful utility. Also, his debuff effect, where he does possibly minus 12 to all enemy stats. Both really good effects. I think he can definitely find some uses, but his damage itself doesn't seem like it's going to be really all that there. And people are also calling them out for doing a scam showcase with him, where they had him beat up on the story mode Ector Deer instead of a fully built one. So, alright, so Gable over here, he commented on my video. He said he's not a skip due to Arena. Stop acting like that game mode doesn't exist. I'm also disappointed, but restrictions now. I guess we could get actual Pulse Smoke 4 on everyone later on, but man, this skill is just bad. Yeah, I agree. The skill that he's got, Pulse Smog, is not very good, but I wanted to mainly focus on this here. So Gable's talking about him for Arena, and he's like, oh, he's a must-have, because in Arena, you always get the bonus Legendary Heroes to help you out there. So normally I don't do this. I don't usually like comment with people in the comment section unless it's like just like a random comment, but I felt like I could maybe talk this guy out of summoning for Shez. If he's only summoning for Arena purposes, like he's not summoning for Shez because he actually likes the character, I wanted to try and talk him out of it. So I was like, you don't need him to maintain tier 21 if you're free to play. Just means a month of not having to fish for fights, as opposed to getting a free pass with the bonus legend. I'm saying this, of course, from the perspective of Legendary Heroes being on a good rotation for bonuses. Like, we're going to go all the way back to the first Legendary Heroes like Fiorm and Gunthra and Legendary Ike and so on. This post is completely with that in mind. Like, okay, we have access to all these old Legendary Heroes we can use as bonuses, so you don't really need the new Shez. You could just fight it out for a month. You just have to fish for fights for 1 month, and then afterwards, he's history, right? You don't need him after that. So, I mean, we continued going back and forth on this, but I gotta give it up. Gable, you got me here. If they're gonna make this change to Arena, then I got nothing. I got no counterplay to that. So, Gable, if you really care about Arena and you really want to maintain those crowns, I guess summon for Shez. All right, let's head over to good old Game Facts, because they've got a topic about this too. And then we'll move on to the main show here, which is going to be on the subreddit. All right, so where is it? I know for a fact that they posted it. I just am not seeing it at the moment. All right, here we go. All right, so they made this change. Of course, in typical Game Facts fashion, we're going to talk about it. All right, Barrel Dragon says dick move. Yep, I said the same thing. I think I said the exact same thing in my video earlier. Big C says, what's the point of summoning old Legendary Heroes now? There is none, pretty much. Like, all of them are useless. And they've been rotating them in Hall of Forms with, like, dangling it over people's head. Like, oh, buy the Formasoul pack and you can get yourself a bonus Legendary Hero. Get them some pretty crazy skills in Hall of Forms. And there you go. You're going to be all set for Arena Mode. Not so much anymore. If you invested in Hall of Forms Legendary Heroes, they're basically not valuable anymore. All right, Zinni says you can still use a plus 10 one for scoring, just not as a bonus. So basically, you need to have a plus 10 or nothing. Yeah, that's also true. You could just have summoned the Form of Soul version of the old legendary heroes just to get good skills and then merge them into your already merged up one. But if you were only getting one copy for the bonus hero thing, that's not looking too good anymore. All right, Team Rocket Elite says there are like 50 legendary units. Summoning an old legendary for one bonus week every 15 months wasn't a good idea to begin with. And that's also in the same boat that legendary male Shez is. Like, you're going to summon him for a bonus hero for 1 month. And then after that, he's going to be tossed to the wayside for other legendary heroes that are going to be the bonus. So it's like they made this update with the intent of just incentivizing the legendary heroes more. I don't know if I have this pulled up. Hold on. I want to talk about the actual, like, list of which heroes. Okay, so here. Speed Demon has me covered. I was going to go open this up separately, but these are going to be the 10 legendary heroes that are going to be in the first rotation. I'm not sure if as legendary heroes come out, that's going to, like, extend the list. So are they just going to be the 10 that are the most recent in rotation, or starting from now, all these guys are in rotation, and further legendary heroes are going to be added to the list as well? I don't know how they're going to handle this, if it's a running list or if it's going to be an updated list. I don't know. But as things are now, these are the 10 legendary heroes that are going to be on bonus rotation. So legendary male Shez, legendary male Corrin, legendary male Alir, legendary Camilla, legendary Alencia, legendary female Alir, Guinevere, Hinoka, Yuri, and Robin. So among these, how many were actually, like, meta-relevant units that I think people went out of their way to get? So, male Robin, for sure, he had the awesome support effect where he gave everybody, what was it called again? Master Strategy, or, like, Grand Strategy, where you could just get unity on everybody. That was really meta at the time. Hinoka, of course, giving charge was really meta. Legendary Alir with her special attack support, giving people DR piercing, was really good. Alencia with the warping was really good. Camilla's really good with her DR pierce support. The male Alir was pretty good. It didn't seem like it at first, but after getting to use him in SD, like, he actually held down the front line pretty well, so he had his uses, for sure. And then Corrin and Shez, that are the most recent, but also the most lackluster, I think. They're not really breaking the mold in other modes besides just, like, arena scoring is really the only reason you would pull them. Now, at least Corrin had high Dragon Wall, which scores 500 SP, so he's at least a good fodder pull. I don't think Shez is a good fodder pull at all. Like, he doesn't really have anything that's going to break up the meta or, like, shake the mold or anything. Alright, so yeah, there we go. These are the top 10, or current 10 legendary heroes. Alright, yeah, go to hell, insists Yuki WTG. Yeah, this image will always remain relevant, it seems like, right? I might even just put this in the thumbnail. This will be the thumbnail for the video, guys. Alright, the 400 Aether Cap change is a nice quality of life. I agree, Beligero. But here's the thing, though. It's always one step forward and then 2 steps back with them when it comes to Insys. They give us one good thing and then they take something else away. We never just get, like, something on the house. Okay, yeah, I think that's just about enough. We've seen enough. GameFAQs, they don't like it, which, big surprise, right? GameFAQs will call them out for everything. Okay, so now let's see what the subreddit has to say. Okay, so Chara Fangirl, I think that's Chara from, like, Undertale. Wow, I hate this change so much. Alright, awesome. 523 upvotes, seems legit. So old legendaries are now even more worthless. They are terrible as they are. What's the point of actively making them worse? What he means by they're already terrible is, like, a lot of them have had their refines and they just suck. And not only that, but they don't have dual skill BST increases, like Fiorm, Ike, Gunthra, like all those early ones. They just have really awful BST and scoring potential because they don't have a dual skill on their legendary effect. So now we're doing this to them too. Like, you can't use them as a bonus. They're just completely useless now. All right, probably one of the sleaziest things they've ever done, considering Arena Bonus was literally their reason to exist. And keep in mind, Arena Bonus was Insys's idea. We didn't ask for that. Like, they just decided, oh, maybe we should give some more value to some of the previous legendary heroes. Why don't we go ahead and make an Arena Bonus thing? And then let's take it back at the same time. Let's give it to him and then take it back. It's too good. We shouldn't have did that. We overstepped our boundaries, apparently. Yeah. All right, sure. Nah, well, okay, yeah. I mean, this was bad. Babysitter meta was the worst, but they've already taken that away. So that... How about... What's stopping them from making the most recent, like, legendary bonus hero the only unit that gets bonus points for KOs? I shouldn't give them ideas, right? But, yeah, like, that seems like it's on the cusp of happening. If they don't have a problem doing stuff like this. Yeah, just to incentivize the most recent legendary hero even more. You want to know what they can do, though? If they really want to incentivize legendary heroes more, make them meta-defining units like they did with Hinoka and Elincia and Robin. Why not just make them good? So you're summoning for a hero that can actually help you in all the modes, as opposed to just being a scoring bot. Because, like, people will summon for that. People summon for the meta. If there's one thing I can tell you about Fae, people will absolutely summon just for powerful units. So making units like Corrin and Shez underpowered, that's not how you want to go about getting us to summon for those units. Just make them busted. And then there you go. People will be incentivized at least to summon. But if you make it like this, the way you're doing now with this new bonus change, and then you're telling us to summon for invaluable units in terms of, like, combat, like, let's use Male Corrin for an example, because at least I think Shez is better than he is. So Male Corrin sucks, and they want us to summon for him, but if they wanted us to summon for him, just make him better. Like, is that so hard? I don't know. Yeah, Radiant PKK, I was like, so should I get the Hall of Forms legendaries? And now I'm like, no. Yeah. Also, if that's the case, remove the legendary icon and let them be blessable. This is another thing too, right? Because you can't give blessings to legendary heroes. So, like, here's an argument against legendary Male Shez. So he's a legendary hero, and it seems like his playstyle is best suited for a Gale Force comp, where you want him to just be a secondary attacker after your initiator goes in and initiates the Gale Force. So where would you want to get the most value out of a style like that? Aether Raid's offense, right? Like, that's definitely his most viable mode. Problem is, you can't bless him. So you'd only be able to run him when it's his legendary season in effect. Otherwise, he's not giving you any score for having him on your offense team. So, like, just letting legendary heroes be blessable would be a pretty huge help, especially for Aether Raids. At the very least, we should be allowed to give them Mythic Hero blessings, so we can, like, run them as, like, if we want them on defense teams, we can run them there with a Dark or Anima blessing. If we want them for offense, we can give them a Light or Astra blessing. That would be so helpful for legendaries, as opposed to just not being able to run them if it's not their season. Oh, God. Speaking of Mythic Heroes, imagine if they do this to Mythic Heroes, too. I don't even want to think about that. Like, what if all of a sudden you can only gain the Mythic Blessings from the most 10 recent Mythic Heroes? So, if you're still running Air, if you're running Peony, like, you're not going to be able to use them anymore for Aether Raids because they don't raise your score anymore. And then that would incentivize people to have to summon for the newest Mythic Hero. That would be some bullshit. I hope they don't do that. It doesn't seem like it would be out of their way to do that. That's something they would do. All right, money. Now you can't crutch on that 2020 legendary you built years ago and occasionally keep up to date with a few new skills. Now you need to pull every time. Yeah. This isn't an end-of-service Doom post, but Insys has been making increasingly player-hostile decisions to push profits. I don't understand why people always cry end-of-service Doom posts, by the way, when people call them out for this type of stuff. Because they've been doing this for a while. It's not like this is a new thing. But this is always the conclusion people jump to. It's like, oh, they're trying to make more money. That means the game is ending. I don't see how those two things equate? Like, how do you get to that conclusion? If they're making us spend more money, how do you see that as an end of service warning? I've played gachas that have been on the cusp of dying, and in actuality, what happens is when a gacha is about to die, it's like the complete opposite. What they do is they actually get more free-to-play friendly. I've seen this happen multiple times. I've seen it happen on Hunter x Hunter. I've seen it happen on Dragalia Lost. People have told me, like, they made some changes to, like, make the game a little bit more easy to play, but that might have backfired and they made it too easy. So, I don't know. Even, like, Pokemon Masters, people are saying because of the new 5-year anniversary, they're like, it's like a cry for more money with the way that they handled the anniversary, but I don't see it as that. I just see it as them trying to get more profits. That's pretty much it. I don't think end of service or anything like that is on the horizon. You know, shit's gone ass up if legendary heroes are being kicked to the curb. To be honest, though, they've kind of been kicked to the curb for a while. Outside of Arena, which is, amongst all the PvP modes, Arena is definitely at the bottom of the list in terms of player interest. Nobody gives a shit about Arena. And even if you do, like, you don't care about it really. You're just doing it either to get the crowns or, I don't know, like, just maintain score. Just say, oh, I'm in tier 21. Really? Like, there's no actual... It's not even, like, real PvP. It's not like Aether Raids where tackling a tough map can be fun. Or, like, Summoner Duels, it's a one-on-one, like, real-time match. Arena is just, like, you versus the CPU, but you're, like, so up shit's creek in terms of how many restrictions are on your team. You can only use whatever's at plus 10 and scores the highest. And then you gotta run, like, bullshit skills on them, too. Like, if, let's say you have Legendary Tiki, and she's your only dragon. She's got Distant Counter built into her weapon, but guess what? You gotta run Distant Counter Dragon's the Seal on her if you want to maximize score. So it's completely counterproductive. But good luck running that, and then running into Emblem Ikes, and then units with Celica Ring. Brave Felix is running around now. I can't see anyone who gets enjoyment out of playing Arena. Alright, Insys has been moving away from them for a while. Yeah, that's what I've said. Like, we rarely get legendary heroes. Most of the time, it's either an emblem hero or a mythic hero for the most part. So, yeah. They're not being kicked to the curb, just the ones you already owned, of course. Insys are mad that nobody wanted to roll for Guinevere or Male Alir. I don't know about Male Alir, because, like, I feel like he was useful, at least at the time he came out. Guinevere, not so much. Like, Male Corrin, not so much. So they're forcing you to roll for them. Yeah, again, like I said, though, if they really want us to pull for these heroes, just make them universally good in all the modes, not just Arena. Alright, the value of the Forma packs just decreased. Big brain move, it says. Yeah, that's another thing, too. Like we talked about, a lot of these heroes were in Hall of Forms that you could just get. And now there's not really much value in picking them up anymore, so kind of defeats the purpose. Also tanks the value of remix banners and kind of defeats its own intended purpose by making the perceived value of most LME banners worse by making the dud old legendaries that are usually like 1/3 to 1/2 of the banner considerably worse. Yeah, legendary and mythic emblem banners, I guess is what he means by that. Alright, frankly, even new legendaries feel less appealing given the timer on their usefulness. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's hard to say, though. Are they going to rotate units out? So, like, right now, Legendary Male Robin is at the bottom of the list. So, the next time we get a Legendary Hero, is he going to just replace Robin on the list of the next 10? Or is he going to be added to the list in tandem with Robin, so we have now 11 possible heroes? It's hard to say. Like, is it going to be a running list or an updated list? I don't know. Alright, given the extreme amount of arena refreshers veterans have, it might be easier just stick to fishing for max score now. Yeah, I mean, I've got 3 legendary heroes at plus 10 because I've been playing that long. So, yeah, like, whether or not I've needed the bonus hero has been irrelevant for the most part. I could just get away with running one of my plus 10 legendary heroes. But for a lot of people, that's not the case. So this is hurtful for them. Unfortunately, they think they're going to move on to doing the same thing with Mythics. I hope not. If this change goes over well for them. I can't see this change being good for them, though. is the problem, because like people are still probably not going to summon, because like I said, Arena is at the bottom of the list in terms of modes that people really care about. So yeah, I don't think this move is really going to benefit them at all, honestly. Even if they do it to Mythics, they can't really remove the inherent buffs they give already. So you might lose some of the bonus lift when they are on bonus, but they still give you the extra team slot when not on a bonus or improve your stats. All Mythics also still improve your max lift. I mean, they could just take that away is the problem. They could just be like, okay, all of a sudden Air, Peony, Freya, like all those old school legendary heroes or old school mythic heroes, they don't raise your lift anymore. So you got to run the new legend or new mythic heroes if you have them. All right, let's keep going. Or I'm not discrediting him or anything, but I personally think Emblem, Celica, and Milshez are fairly similar, being high warping nukes with innate pass. Pretty much, and Celica's just better. Difference is it's much better merged Celica, yeah. Because she's getting an emblem and she gives extra stats on the ring, yeah. Like, the ring is just more valuable than anything Shez does, and they're virtually similar units. So, why would you summon for Shez when you could just summon for Emblem Celica? Okay, I don't want this video to go on for too long. This is the perfect ending point. So, Fire Emblem will end here. For real, I was all set to get Sigurd and Deirdre to help me on the next weeks, and their bonus, and that was the only reason I wanted to get them. But now I get to save my formas now. Such an intelligent systems they got over there. Clown face, yeah. Alright guys, that is going to wrap us up for this one. I wanted to look at like more stuff. Oh, why don't we finish by reading this? This guy sent a feedback in the like contact the devs thing, so we'll read this and then we'll call it a day. With the recent update, getting rid of all but 10 of the most recent legendary heroes as bonuses, both in Arena and AR, I have to voice my great displeasure at how poorly this update reflects on the game for both players and creators. Fans of the game who have played for a long time are obviously the most affected, basically rendering their long-standing units null in these very important game modes for collecting resources. If the entire purpose was to basically make half of the legendary hero roster useless, I have to wonder why put in the effort of things such as legendary or mythic remixes. Players love their old units. They may not perform as easily and take more time, but they have gotten them through many battles throughout the years, and those dedicated will constantly update them to match today's standards. Not to mention the whole system of both otherworldly bonds and I'm Forma Souls taking a huge downturn, which will greatly diminish profit in the long run. Please reconsider. Yeah, I don't know if they care about feedback, honestly. They might read it, but then you'll get like a automated AI response like, thanks for your feedback, we'll consider it, have a nice day. That's the type of response I would imagine they'll be sending people. So yeah, guys, that's going to wrap us up for this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about this brand new update slash downgrade to arena mode. But this is your boy Tacho signing out. Hope y'all enjoyed this, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.